Shalom YouTube, hey guys, it's Fletch. Welcome back to OTH. So today we're going to be looking at how to make colloidal silver. I'll just start right off the bat by telling you that opinions on how to make colloidal silver and the best way to make colloidal silver are just like fourth points of contact. Everyone's got one and they all stink. But no, seriously, they're greatly varying degrees on what people think is the proper way and the best way to make colloidal silver. And they've created all of their own little marketing niches and ways to sell their product and or their colloidal silver generator to distinguish themselves from their competition. And you need to be aware of that before you get into making your own colloidal silver and understanding that, because some of that is based on fact and some of that is based on quote-unquote legend. At the end of the day, the most important thing is that you're getting a viable product that you're going to be able to use for the health and betterment of your family. And so what we have found in the research that we did is, if you hear the dog's finger or claws on the floor, you'll know where that's coming from. But the product that we use is just a very simple product that can either be battery operated and or powered by 9-volt batteries. So here it is, and that's the product name for it, and you can look at that web page right there. It should you want to go look for it. And yes, to some this may come across as somewhat of a mini product review for this Life Force colloidal silver generator. And if you want, I mentioned earlier that this can also run on 9-volt batteries. So if you would want to do that, you would just simply take out these 4 screws, and inside there's a place that you could hook up in series 9-volt batteries, and it will power itself off of that as well. But basically all you're doing is you're taking this box, right, that right now just plugs into 110 standard current, alternating current, and we are going to put in our 0.9999% pure silver rods in there. And here are my 2 rods. I'll let you see them up close here. Let me look in the viewfinder and make sure that we got a good picture. And if you're wondering why guys do this, they put their hand up there, it's because it helps your camera focus. And you can see there's a little bit of corrosion right there on that one. And we have definitely used these over the last 2 or 3 years that we've had this colloidal silver generator. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to put one of these, and one of them is a little bit longer than the other one, so it helps you remember which one you had on which side. Did you have it on the red, which is positive, or the black, which is negative side? And then when you stop to clean it, then you're going to simply clean it and then put them back in the other way. And the reason why you do that is because they deteriorate faster being on one side than the other, and that's the reason why you want to alternate it back and forth. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to use steam distilled water, and that's very important. Don't just use reverse osmosis water. We have a reverse osmosis filtering system in our house, and it is not the same thing as distilled water or filtered water. And reverse osmosis distilled water is not the same thing as steam distilled water. You need steam distilled water. It's the most pure water that you can get. So what we're going to do is this is just a quart jar. It doesn't really matter. Obviously, the bigger the container of water that you're creating, the longer it's going to take. That's just kind of a given. So we're going to fill it up, and I just know from experience I need to fill this up to right at the bottom of the threads on there. And the reason why is because when I put this in, we're just going to have just a little bit of room between the bottom of this and the probes as they go down into the steam distilled water. So we're going to plug it in into our outlet right down here. And it's not my intention to get into all the health benefits of colloidal silver and how it works and all that. Just basically how to do it and how to make it. And this particular product, the Life Force generator, we bought off of Amazon 2 to 3 years ago. And we've made, you know, many batches of colloidal silver. And we are a large family. So for us, we use quite a bit of the colloidal silver. And if you wanted an idea of what it looks like, where the 9-volt batteries goes, this comes out of the owner's manual. You can see right there where it talks about that you could, not only can you use 9-volt batteries, but you can also use rechargeable 9-volt batteries, which may be important for those of you that have a preparedness mindset. That this system does also work with not only batteries but rechargeable batteries as well. The unit comes with satisfactory instructions. You know, it's not a big, you know, high dollar, you know, professionally printed catalog or anything like that. You know, it just kind of basically, it is color, right? You can see, you know, it is color, but you know, it's not bound and, you know, whatnot, and some of the packaging isn't, you know, exactly high dollar, right? Like they send it to you in, you know, with a plastic spoon and a Ziploc bag and a piece of Scotch-Brite to clean your probes. If you're the kind of person that, you know, let's see, what's the word I would use here? You appreciate the quote-unquote finer things in life. You may not appreciate the simplicity of this system and the simplicity of the instructions and different things. However, if you're looking for a generator that does a good job, it creates a decent product for an affordable price, then this may well be the right system for you. So basically what we're doing here now is the generator is already working. It's already creating the colloidal silver, and the electrolysis going through these silver rods is leaching the silver into the water. And the longer the rods are in the water, the more yellow the water will become as the silver leaches into the water. And ever so often we're going to have to stop this process, and we're going to have to clean off those electrodes because they will start to corrode, and the impurities, let's see, what would it be, 0.00001, that one in there, the impurities in the silver will start to corrode on the outside of that, and we don't want those impurities to get in our colloidal silver. So we will stop and we will very carefully pull this out of the steam distilled water. We'll clean off the probes, and then we'll put them back into the water. All right, so as the colloidal silver is making, it jarred my memory of something I wanted to share with you real quick. For those of you that do have a preparedness mindset, and well, before we actually get there, some of you may be thinking, well, you know, I came to this video to learn about health and wellness, not preparedness. And, you know, why I came to a health and wellness channel. Why are you trying to sell me preparedness? Well, it's just the opposite. You came to a preparedness channel to learn about health and wellness. So in that light, you can also, from this same company, Life Force, you can buy extra, and it just comes in a simple bag like this. And you know, being completely forthright, if you're willing to buy a whole roll of silver, you can buy these, you know, quote unquote probes, right? You can buy silver like this on a roll. And basically what you're doing when you're buying it from them, they are measuring it off of a roll, and then they cut it and they mail it to you. But you can buy extra probes. So we also have extra probes so that, you know, should things ever happen to not be good in the region that we're living, we have a backup means to generate the colloidal silver for our family. And for us, that was important. Not that it needs to be for you, but you know, you can also get backup silver wires, basically, or probes, whatever term makes the most sense to you in your mind. So basically what you're going to be doing is no longer than 30 minutes, especially in the latter cleanings. You don't want to leave your silver wires or your probes in the water for any longer than 30 minutes, because once that happens, you'll actually be able to see the slag, or you know, the impurities in the silver and in the water start to appear on our silver wires or probes down in the water. So it's about every 30 minutes that we're going to stop the process of the generator, and we're going to clean our wires, and then we'll put them back in there until we get it up to about the right amount of parts per million that we want to deal with. And what this company tells you with their generator, as you see right here, this is a 32-ounce jar, right here. 32 ounce. If we want it to be 20 parts per million, that overall we need 128 minutes of generator time. We don't typically make ours quite that strong. We go from 10 to 15 parts per million. And right here you can see that generally takes between an hour, or 64 minutes, and 96 minutes. So typically somewhere around in there is what we shoot for. So what happens if you don't have steam distilled water to make this? You can still make it. It won't be as high quality a product. And what will happen is the water will turn like a grayish color, because what's happening is the little nanoparticles, or whatever you want to call it, of the silver through electrolysis is leaching out of those silver wires into the water. And when that happens, those little particles will latch onto the impurities in the water, and it will start to turn a gray color, and it looks nasty. And if the water is not very clean, it can even start to have a muddy appearance. And like I said earlier, we actually have a reverse osmosis water filtering system that does a very good job of filtering our water, but that is nowhere near the same quality as simply using, Walmart brand steam distilled water. So that's another thing to think about and to keep in mind. All right, YouTube, so it's about a half hour and you can't really see it while the camera's on the tripod, so I'm going to take the camera off here and I'll let you get an up-close look at the slag that's on here. And you can see right there, you can see all of the particles that are clinging onto, that's the negative probe or silver wire that's down in there. So we're going to clean that off, and so what we'll do is we'll very, very gently lift that out of the water so that those little clingers don't fall off into the water, and then we'll wipe it off with a paper towel, and then we'll use that little piece of Scotch-Brite to polish up the silver again and make it all shiny and pretty again, and we'll put it back in there. And we got to do this 2 or 3 more times, and eventually this water is going to turn a yellowish color. All right, YouTube, so here is our finished product, and as you can see, the jar on the left is our colloidal silver that we just generated, and we just generated a full quart of it, or 32 ounces, instead of the typical dropper bottle. I'll show you here what I'm talking about. Typically, if you buy colloidal silver in a health food store, it's going to come in a little bottle similar to this, and you're going to pay big bucks for it compared to how much it costs to generate your own. If you just buy a simple colloidal silver generator like we have here. Here is what I was talking about as well earlier too. I'll turn this to the side just a little bit, and you can kind of see on the bottom there that how the particles of that will cling to any of the imperfections in there. So typically what we'll do is we'll let this sit for about 24 hours or something like that, undisturbed. All the particulates in there can fall down to the bottom, and then we just pour off the top, 9/10 of it or something like that, and just leave the last yay much, something like that, down in the bottom of the container and throw it away. This is not medical advice in any way, shape, fashion, or form. I'm not a medical doctor, and I'm not giving you my medical opinion. I am simply telling you what we do and what works for us. Also on the right, we have our soup. That's actually what this is. Our little dropper bottle is for the Super E Immune Booster, which is another thing, it being February 1st, the day that I'm recording this. Between the two of those tend to be a pretty good remedy to keep you from getting sick, one, and two, should you happen to get sick, to diminish the length and severity of the cold or flu, stomach flu, whatever might happen to be. And so I'd highly encourage you to look into both of these ideas, tinctures like that. And tinctures are super easy, guys. It's basically you buy a bottle of vodka and you pour in a bunch of herbs and you let it sit there for a while. You filter out the herbs and you slowly, right, little dropper full, drink the fluid, because the properties of the herbs leaches into the fluid, and then you drink it. And same with the colloidal silver. There are many uses and reasons for colloidal silver. Well, hopefully this is a blessing to someone out there. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. If you look into the right hand side of the screen in the lower right, you'll see that there's a little red subscribe button. If you click that, it'll give you the option to subscribe to our channel, and when you look at your subscriptions feed, you should be able to see the new videos as we make them. While you're doing that, if you will click on the little bell icon, it will also give the option where you can receive an email update every time a new video is uploaded to the channel. YouTube isn't always good at making sure that all of your subscriptions show up in your subscription feed. And if you do the email update, generally speaking, that's a lot more reliable. So there you go. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Shalom.